The handsome Monkey King lived a carefree life for 400 to 500 years. Yet one day, while feasting with the other monkeys, a feeling of sadness washed over him. Tears fell from his eyes and caught the attention of the monkeys around. They bowed down in concern to understand what was making their king upset. Despite feeling happy in the moment, the Monkey King worried about the future because their lives, filled with feasting and freedom on Flower Fruit Mountain, might not last forever. He foresaw old age and decay would come, and their souls would be reaped by Yama, king of the Underworld. Upon hearing his explanation, the monkeys felt the same emotion and covered their faces and wept. Suddenly, a gibbon moved forward, suggesting that the Monkey King's foresight might signal a budding interest in the spiritual. He explained that among the 5 major divisions of living creatures, there were 3 kinds could escape from Yama. The gibbon identified them as the Buddhas, the immortals, and the holy sages, that these 3 could avoid the cycle of birth and death, enjoying longevity alongside heaven and earth, mountains and streams. He revealed that they lived in the South Continent within ancient caves on immortal mountains. The captivated Monkey King resolved to leave the following day, intended to seek out these 3 kinds of beings, to learn from them the secrets of eternal youth and how to escape from King Yama. The handsome Monkey King prepared to leave his home once everything was ready. Onto a wooden raft, he pushed off with all his strength toward the vast ocean. Taking advantage of a strong southeast wind that blew for several days, he sailed to the northwest coast of the South Continent. He found himself on a lively beach where people fished, hunted wild geese, dug clams, and harvested salt. The intrigued Monkey King approached them with exaggerated gestures and silly faces, frightened them into dropping their baskets and nets, and causing them to scatter in all directions. He put on a fisherman's clothes and strolled around towns and marketplaces, imitating human speech and manners. He spent 8 to 9 years in the South Continent, hoping to learn the secret of eternality. However, the people he observed were only after profit and fame. None seemed to possess the path to immortality. Eventually, he arrived at the western coast and decided to carry on his adventure in the West Continent. In the West Continent, the handsome Monkey King found a tall and beautiful mountain with a forest canopy at its base. He was attracted to this mountain by an unseen energetic force. Fearless of wolves, lizards, tigers, or leopards, he ascended the mountain to take a closer look. On his way up, he heard a voice echoing through the woods. The sound was a song by a lumberjack chopping firewood with his axe. His peculiar attire struck the Monkey King, thinking he could be the immortal. But as the Monkey King approached him, he was startled and dropped his axe. He expressed that he lacked the means to be called an immortal and that the lyrics were taught by a neighboring immortal. This immortal had seen his struggles and advised him to recite the poem during tough times, assuring him it would provide comfort. The Monkey King suggested the lumberjack to pursue the immortal's teachings to learn the secret of eternal youth together, but the lumberjack refused. He recounted his responsibility to take care of his aging mother. He could only show him the path to the immortal called Patriarch Subodhi, who lived in a cave within this mountain of mind and heart. Taking his advice, the Monkey King traveled for 7 or 8 miles and finally spotted a cave dwelling. The cave's door was tightly shut and all was quiet within, showing no signs of human presence. The handsome Monkey King was grateful to have discovered a place where honesty and truth thrived, affirming the existence of the mountain and cave. The handsome Monkey King gazed at the cave for an extended period, but he was too nervous to knock. He climbed onto a nearby pine branch, gathered some pine seeds to chew, and hung around until the cave door creaked open. An immortal youth stepped outside. He looked graceful and refined, distinguished himself from any ordinary mortals. He stated his master was expecting someone seeking to practice austerities, was at the door, and should lead the individual to him. The Monkey King confirmed with enthusiasm and followed the youth into the cave. They walked past a series of chambers, filled with towering structures and intricate arches. After passing through many quiet rooms, they reached the base of a green jade platform. Patriarch Subodhi sat solemnly below the platform, with 30 lesser immortals standing in orderly rows. Upon seeing the Patriarch, the Monkey King prostrated himself repeatedly, expressing sincere homage. He introduced himself as hailing from the water curtain cave of Flower Fruit Mountain in Aeolai of the East Continent. He emerged from a stone and had no parents. The patriarch reacted with skepticism and labeled him a liar, as the East and the West were separated by two great oceans and the South continent. The Monkey King kept on bowing, insisting that his words held truth, explaining that he had drifted across the oceans and traversing many regions for over a decade before reaching the cave. The patriarch, having a clear mind, was convinced and admitted him to be a student. He also wanted to grant the Monkey King a proper name and urged the Monkey King to walk around in order to get some ideas. He described the Monkey King's gestures might not be appealing and resembled a Pygnolia-eating monkey, Sun. By removing the animal radical from this word, the remaining characters conveyed a youthful essence, aligning perfectly with the meaning of a baby boy. Therefore, he opted for the surname Sun. The patriarch further explained that his students were named after their corresponding divisions. The Monkey King belonged to the 10th generation with character corresponded to Wake 2, and thus the patriarch granted him the name Wukong, which meant Wake to the Void. The Monkey King felt immense joy and expressed gratitude, announcing that he would from this time on be known as Sun Wukong. Wukong's journey to be continued. Stay tuned for more Wukong stories.